So I finally got all the components hung on the wall, got the switches, the inverters are hooked up. I've got everything wired, both DC and AC on both inverters. I've got communication cables between the two. You see back here in the back, I've got the 50 amp main. This is coming off of the transfer switch and into the main, and then off of that into the inverters. And then out of the inverters, it might be kind of hard to see, but up there is a junction box. And I'm coming out of my inverters into a junction box and then sending a new 6-3 wire to the circuit panel, so the whole coach will be inverted. Next, I've got to hook up my transfer switch. I haven't done that yet, and I have to hook up my panel, but I wanted to kind of give you guys an idea. Excuse the mess. There's the 4 batteries. I've got these 2 wired in series, and I've got these 2 in series, and I'm going to wire it in parallel. And then I used bus bars to do what's called midpoint charging. So both battery packs go into the bus bar, and then the bus bar feeds both inverters. It goes down to the switch and then into the links, and then both inverters go into the links. There's my shunt. And then I went ahead and mounted my battery monitor here. You can see I have 27 volts. I have them wired 24. Solar controller is working perfectly. There's the links distributor, and then the other switches. Over on the other side, by the existing coach DC bus, I have the DC to DC converter. It's all hooked up and working. But now I'm going to go ahead and wire these electrically through the automatic transfer switch and the circuit breakers inside. All right, so I got most of the components installed. Everything's up and running and working very well. And I'm here mounting our display. So I went with the new Servo. It's called the Servo GX. And this is the brains. I'm gonna mount up in here like that. And then all of our components, our battery monitor, our solar controller, our inverters, all that stuff plug into this. And then we simply have a USB cable and an HDMI cable that go up to the display up front, and I'll show you that here in a minute. Instead of running, you know, all these communication wires, you got all these, you got this one, I got 2 more I have to add. Instead of running all those up to your display, you can just run it to this little device. And the cool thing about this is you can also hook up tank sensors, temperature sensors. We actually have a relay here that I'm going to use later to hook up the auto gen start. So there's all kinds of possibilities with this little thing. It's got a USB, so you can get online and you can see it on the World Wide Web. I'm going to go ahead and plug these things in. I'm going to mount this on the wall right here so it'll be hidden, and hook it up to power, and we should be good to go with our display. All right, so I got the Servo installed. You can see these 2 top black wires. One comes from the solar controller, one comes from the battery monitor. The blue communication cable goes to the inverter, and then the HDMI and that USB go up to the display, and then we have our internet and we have power. So I got power hooked up. I left the fuse out for now. I'm going to put it in here in a minute. And I just kind of got these wires policed up. I'm going to run these back and zip tie them up and clean everything up first before I turn the display on. Then I'm just going to leave these wires laying here on top of the battery. They're not hot, the batteries don't get hot, so they should be fine sitting there. You can see the shunt back there. I went ahead and built this all out. I made myself a little cubby, as you can see. I figured hiding that battery and using up all that space was kind of silly, so I made a little cubby where I can store stuff, and then I have a cover that goes right here, so when this is all done, this is covered up, but I have excellent access. It's not hot in here at all. I mean, besides, you know, the normal atmospheric temperature. These things out here are getting warm. These inverters get warm when they run, so I think I have plenty of airflow in this big space, but time will tell. I'm gonna get these wires fastened up, and then I'm going to go turn this on and go in and check out the display. Okay, let's go in and see if our display is on. Ooh, it is starting. All right. And there's the cat yelling at me. I must have disturbed him. Okay, it's on, so I'm going to have to set it up. But at least it's working, so that's good. Let's go to menu. Let's see. We're in absorb. Line in, line 2 is 0 because we're on 30 amp. But we're inverting on the second one, so it's putting power out. This touchscreen is pretty sweet. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So on it out, we're getting both on out because we're inverted on one of them. All right, so let's go back. Smart solar is nothing because we're fully charged. Yeah, we're 100%. That's the battery monitor. Okay, it hasn't figured any of that out yet. Okay, let's see here. Battery temperature sensor, fuel tank, so we don't have any of that hooked up. Let's go to settings. Whoops. Let's go to menu. Let's go to settings. General. And we'll have to set up, I'll have to set up the network and all that kind of thing later, but I just wanted to show you kind of what it's all about. System setup. So right now we've got input 1 is grid, input 2 is generator, battery monitors automatic. There's the online portal that I have to log into. We've also got some learning to do. Okay, so we're getting 3,000 watts from the grid. We're plugged into a 30 amp pedestal. We've got 1,800 watts that we're using. The air conditioner's running. 0 watts coming from solar because the sun's pretty much down. And then we're at 100% charge on our batteries. So one inverter is inverted. The other inverter is hooked to shore power because we're at a 30 amp pedestal. So there's only one leg. So the other one's inverting. So yeah, it looks like it's working. All right, before I wrap up this video, I want to show you guys something really cool. So we're here at the display, and you can see the batteries are at 100%. We're pulling 1,700 watts off the grid. Our one AC is running, so you can see it's going from the grid to the AC load, and it's also going to charge the battery. Now, I'm going to have Tina turn off the grid or turn off the main breaker at the pedestal, and we'll see this shift and we'll see some PV current. So go ahead, Tina, shut it off. Okay, she just shut it off. You just saw it switch to invert, and now there goes the grid. And now we're pulling out of the batteries, we're pulling out of solar and going to our load. So we're running our air conditioner off of solar. Now if I go back over here and I turn on the second air conditioner, we should see it come on. I got it down here, zone 2. Oh, there's the hourglass. It's going to come on here in a second, and we're going to see, there we go, there it comes. So we're going to see this wattage shoot up. It didn't take very much to start it because we have those soft starts. So you can see we're pulling 1466 off leg 1, 316 off leg 2. Now we're running 2 air conditioners, and we're using the sun, and we're using our batteries. Now if it were in the middle of the afternoon, this would be a lot higher because we'd be getting a lot more from the sun, but the sun is down pretty far right now, so we're not getting very much. So there we go. So you can see we're pulling 2,800, now we're pulling 3,000 watts out of our batteries. Pretty cool, huh? I wanted to show you how well this thing's working, and this display is pretty amazing. So thanks again for joining me in this series. This wraps up our solar series. If you have any technical questions, please leave them in the comments below or reach out to us directly. I know there's a lot of technical information around the Victron equipment and setting everything up that I didn't really go in depth on, as far as like programming the inverters and that sort of thing. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. But for now, we got our system going, it's up and running, it's going great. I am going to have a video come out here before too long showing you how to install the soft starts on the air conditioners. We're going to do that as a separate video, so look for that. But that's it for today, and until next time, safe travels. Bye.